do time, we're gonna read some comics. Yes, we're gonna read them. It's do time, I'll tell you all about it. Let's all go read them comics. Hey everybody, LaserDude99 here, and I'm here to ask the question: which is better, Marvel Ultimate Alliance or Ultimate Alliance 2? Let's find out. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the clips. Now, this you don't have a great view with this, but this is the first clip that you see in the game. Basically, it's you and a bunch of heroes just kicking butt. However, after seeing this, I can really say that it doesn't look half as good as the one in the first one. I mean, look at Wolverine here. And then look at him here. I'm not sure how well you can see, but there is much more detail in the graphics in the first one, which is rather odd to see the graphics in the video clips a step down in the sequel rather than a step up. Not saying they're horrible, but compared to the first one, not as good. However, the briefing graphics are much better in this game, even though they don't really show the briefing, which is something that I kind of miss. Like in the old one, the graphics weren't really that great in the briefings, but it still was a briefing. It had most of the superheroes in a room talking to each other about their mission. In the new one, it just has them explaining the mission to you with a bunch of fancy clips. I prefer these mission briefings mostly because sometimes they can be funnier with Spider-Man just cracking off a joke. Or maybe they can just be a little more interesting hearing a lot of your heroes talk rather than just one. However, these aren't bad briefings, I just prefer the other ones. I will say they do have way better graphics and much better story. But, not story, I mean they have much better effects to them. But I still prefer the other ones. Now, the new one, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, it studies the story of Marvel's Civil War. Now, your characters are all shown here. You can, something that is different from this, you can choose your characters at any time. Like the old one, which you could only choose them if you were at an extraction point, which you could go to change team, which would lead you to your team slot. However, there is a problem with switching characters on the other side, on this game, because even though you can switch at any time during a battle, if sometime, for some reason, one of your character dies, you cannot switch that character out. Sure, I could switch Miss Marvel here to Iceman right now, which I'm doing. But I cannot, if Iceman dies, I couldn't switch him back to anyone else. The fighting style in this game is a basic punch and go. The old one, the first one, had a variety of different people to fight, and some of them would be energy resistant, so you couldn't hit them, you would just have to punch them. And some of them would be physical resistant, so it would be better to use them with your energy. This one doesn't have that. It's just basically hit them, punch them, and also the energy that you get is so high that you basically don't even need to use any of your physical attacks. You can just use energy after energy after energy, and no problemo. And I'm not even half done. And I'm still just using energy after energy after energy. my energy, and I'm finally low. And it comes back so quickly, there's almost no point in punching people at all. In the old one, you had to choose when would be a good time to punch and when would be a good time to just blast them. Oops. This is your power moves. Each character in the old one has a power move that they have on their own. The new one has tried to take that to the next level. Tried to take it to the next level with the whole fusion thing. This is a combined clearing fusion where one of them, now even though, well that was just where one of them shoots in the, above and the other shoots low. Now even though some of the fusion moves can be pretty darn cool, a lot of them are just repeats. For example, Spider-Man will always, for the most part, either do a move where he shoots a whole bunch of webs and gathers people close to him, and then the other guy bashes him, or he will the other person will make a huge block and he'll just hit people with it. They could have been much more creative with these fusion things, and rather than just do the same things, because a lot of them are really similar. A lot of them are also people just one shooting high, the other shooting low. They could have gotten so much more creative with these, and they didn't. The old one, every character had their own power move. Sure, not all of them were, that only gave you one special move per character, but that was alright because for the most part, all of them were useful. In the new ones, some of them aren't useful at all. I mean, you're firing everywhere and you only get a few people sometimes, or sometimes it's just a move that's just so useless. And you don't know sometimes. If you're experimenting with new characters, you don't know. Now, I won't say that this is a bad game. It has a lot of good qualities to it. Like, some of them are pretty cool, like this one where you, for example, I'm Deadpool and Wolverine, and you have a move to just run around and kill anyone. It's pretty fun to do it. And, you know, even though they're not as creative as they could be, they really still could have been a little more creative in the fighting styles. Now, I want to talk about extra costumes. In the old one, you could have 4 costumes in all. You can, like, for example, Spider-Man can have his original, Stark armor, Scarlet Spider, which is kind of ugly, and then, of course, the symbiote and his classic one. In the new one, you just get Spider-Man's original costume and his Stark armor, which doesn't even look half as cool as it did in the old one, in the old game. Now, this goes true with a lot of the characters that, even though their first design is alright, their second design is crap. Like, for example, here's Deadpool in his cool Merc with a Mouth outfit. You swap his costume, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but his face is showing and it looks like gross. I mean, and they say it's based off of designs from the comics. Well, you didn't need to do that, and there's other characters too where it just doesn't look half as good. The worst one is Gambit. His first one's fine. You switch, and he goes into the Dark Lord. I mean, his face is black, his hair is white. I mean, he looks horrible. Daredevil's doesn't even look that good. I mean, it's black with a little bit of red. He looks like a tinsel action figure. The only one that I like is Iceman's. I haven't unlocked them all, but out of all the ones I've seen, the only one I like is Iceman's. I mean, in the old one, you could have many other characters that had different suits. I mean, Wolverine has his modern look, classic look, Astonishing X-Men look and the Ultimate X-Men look. And Deadpool has Ultimate, Weapon X, and Assassin look. I like the Assassin one the best. But you know what I mean. You had 4 different choices, and most of them look pretty good. Like, the only one in Spider-Man that I don't like is the Scarlet Spider.